Hello everyone, welcome to another track guide for the oNiD Simhound Rookie Amateur Series. This week we're at Monza. What I've done just to get a track guide up as quick as I can is I've pulled a lap from the race we did last season with Racing Stronger. The track conditions for this week for the amateur race are going to be mixed. It could be dry, wet, a mixture of both. Alex has made it a mystery, so we won't literally find out till we get in there. The temperature and weather conditions on this server will be very similar than what it will be if your race is dry, but I will get in the practice server later and hoping it will give me some mixed conditions so I can do another track guide, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, we've just done this one. So since this is an actual race, you will see 55 litres of fuel, which is a race stint. You'll be able to, it just simulates a race because that's exactly what it is. So we will get going round now and I'll show you where to brake, where to turn in, the best lines to take, which curbs to avoid, and hopefully it will help you. So as we go down the main straight, you want to be eventually getting across to the left as you'll see me drift, getting ready for the braking point in turn 1. Right, the 150 board is your rough indicator. Some cars can brake a little tiny bit later, some will have to brake a bit sooner, but the 150 board is the rough guide. Use that as your guide and you'll be able to judge whether you can brake sooner or afterwards, but 150 is your guide. So as you'll see, at 150 I get on the brakes. I shift down quite aggressively because the engine braking helps the car slow down, which means you can brake a bit later. Get all the way down, and as you get halfway along this green curb on the left is when you want to start turning in, because what you were aiming for is to get your right hand side wheels over the first bit of curb and just clip the sausage. So as you see, you get turned in, slow off the brakes as slow as you can. As soon as you clip that sausage, you want to be back on the power, give yourself a little boost. Off the power and a tap of the brakes to get the nose turned in, because again you want to get your left hand side wheel on this curb pretty much touching the sausage, as you can see what Miles is doing there. And then as you get halfway around it, on the power as quick as you can and straighten up as quick as you can. If you can, keep your right hand side wheels off this outside curb because your wheels will spin and it will cost you some speed coming out of the corner, which will result in a lap of time or places in the race. If it is wet, keep off this completely because you're liable to spin your back end and kill a member of the audience. So you want to straighten up as much as you can, give yourself a good launch out onto the Curva Grande straight. So we will go back and watch it in full speed. So you want to brake around the 150, get all the way down, turn right halfway along the curb, clip it, brake, clip it again, and get a good launch out ready for the Curva Grande. The best thing with the Curva Grande is to keep out wide and then cut in as close as you can to the curb, then start to drift out wide again, getting ready for the braking point for the second chicane. Your braking point for this one roughly is the little orange patch at the end of the barrier. So you want to get over to the right hand side, use as much of the space as you can to give yourself a better line into the chicane. So as we go along, you want to brake at the orange barrier. Again, use your engine braking to slow the car down more. And just like the first chicane, halfway along this curb on the right hand side is when you want to start turning in. And you pretty much want to do the same with this chicane as you did for the first. As you can see, Miles' left hand side tyres on the curb, just clipping the sausage. That's what you're aiming to do. Off the brakes as slow as you can, get turned in. As you go over that curb on the power, lift, or if you need to dab the brakes, do it, but you shouldn't have to if you get the line correct. Right hand side tyres on the curb, just clipping the sausage. And as you come off it, you want to be on the power. Give you a good run out. You can use this exit curb. If it's wet, avoid it because you will spin off and kill the spectators. Even though you can use this outside curb, try not to use it as much as you can, because like the first one, your wheels will spin because there's not as much grip as there is on the tarmac. If you can keep all 4 tyres on the tarmac, do it. But you can use a little bit of it. It won't cost you too much time because the run to the first Lesmo isn't as bad. So what we'll do is we'll go back and watch it in full speed. So you want to brake at the orange point on the right, get turned in, clip the sausage, clip it again, get a good run out. And this leads us to Lesmo 1, but I call it Lesmo 1 because I'm pretty immature. So as we go along, you will pass the first orange marker on the right. Your braking point for this corner, I judge around maybe 10 meters before this orange marker here. And as we'll go along, you'll see me start to brake, and then as I pass the orange marker, that is my point to turn in. So as you'll see, I'll come off the brakes, get back on the power very early, balance the throttle, get my right hand side tyres in this ditch because that will drag the car around and keep your line nice for you. Keep the throttle balanced, and as you come off the edge of the curb, get on the power. You can abuse this runoff area. The track limit line is this line on the outside of the curb. As long as you keep 2 wheels on the curb or within this white line, you are good. So you can abuse this quite a lot, which you will see everybody do. So we will go back and watch it in full speed. So you want to brake 10 meters before the orange barrier, turn in at the orange, get your right hand side wheels in the ditch and full power, ready for Lesmo 2. So you want to keep to the left. Your braking point is this 50 meter board. That is likely going to get absolutely obliterated by someone, so thankfully there's a white marking on the barrier on the right. It would be handy if this 50 meter board stays here because it's easier to see, but when it inevitably gets killed by someone, use the white on the right. So as you pass the 50, you want to go on the brakes, get turned in nice and early because again your plan is to get your right hand side wheels in this ditch because it just helps the car turn. As you put your wheels in the ditch, you want to be back on the power early as you can. Again, you can abuse this runoff area. The track limit is this white line here. Keep 2 wheels on the curb, you'll be good. I actually clip the gravel a bit on the outside here, which will slow me down. But as you can see in front, Miles takes pretty much the perfect line. And it's key you get a good exit out of here, ready for the straight down to the Ascari Chicane. This will have cost me a bit of time because I hit the gravel, but not too much. Follow Miles's line more than mine. So we will go back and watch it in full speed. So you want to brake at the 50, get your right hand side wheels in the curb, avoid the gravel, and then keep to the left, heading down to the Ascari Chicane. Drift over to the right, keep as far right as you can because you need to open up the corner. And as you go down, your braking point is the orange marker at the end of this barrier on the right, where the marshal is stood. As you approach that, you want to be getting on the brakes, shift down aggressively, let your engine do some of the braking. as you get halfway along this curb, you want to start turning in. You see, I will come off the brakes nice and slow, get turned in. The aim is to take as much of this curb as your car can. There is some sausages on the inside. I'm in the Porsche, which is very unpredictable, and it takes it fine. You can cut the track here by taking too much curb. You'll know if you've done that because it'll bounce you off and you'll kill the audience members. Keep your right hand side tyres on this curb here, you will be absolutely fine. So as you go around, I'm balancing the throttle. As I come off, I'm back on it. Then turn to the right, because again, the aim is to get your right hand side tyres in this little ditch, because it will help drag the car around the corner. So as you see, I'm balancing the throttle, and as I come off this curb, it's back on full power. Clip the curb on the left, and again, like the others, your track limit line is the one on the outside there. You can abuse this runoff. As long as you keep 2 tyres on this curb, you will be fine. The last curb we went past on the left, the exit of Ascari, if you're in something like the Aston or the Mercedes or the Mustang, you can pretty much ride over that to give yourself a straighter line out of this corner and a better exit down the straight. But if you're in something a bit temperamental like the Porsche, the Honda, anything like that, avoid going over that curb too much because it'll send you over that fence on the right. So you want a good exit out of this corner because it is the long straight leading down to the Parabolica. So we will go watch this in full speed. You want to be over at the right, brake at the orange part of the barrier, get turned in, over the fast curb, get your tyres in the right hand side ditch, full power, abuse the exit curb, and start drifting to the left, all the way down, getting ready for the Parabolica. Your your braking point for this wants to be around the 100 metre mark. Again, depends on your car, could be a bit later, could be a bit earlier, but that is your rough guide point. So as you will see, I'll brake at the 100, just as I pass it, shift down quite aggressively, get turned in just as you pass the white line that goes across the road. And when you get halfway around this corner, you want to start putting the power on. The aim is once you start putting that power on, you don't have to lift. If you put the power on and then you have to lift back off it, you've took the line wrong. And you will lose a lot of time because this leads onto the main straight. So the goal is around halfway, get on the power, bring it on slowly if need be like I am, but just make sure you don't have to lift again, because you will lose a lot of time and you've took it wrongly. If you have to come right out to the edge, you can. You can put 2 wheels on this green area. As long as you keep 2 wheels on the tarmac, you will not break track limits. And you want to be full power all the way around. So we will go back and watch that in full speed. So you want to be over to the left, you want to brake at the 100 and start turning just as the white line is across the road. Get on the power halfway around, make sure you don't have to lift, keep 2 tyres on the tarmac, and then drift to the right to make the run to the line shorter. And that is a lap of Monza. I think this was a 47 flat lap. Where is it? Yep. So 47 flat with race fuel. Don't worry if you aren't close to that. This was a very sweaty race. Again, conditions could be different. I'm hoping that the official practice server will give me some mixed conditions so I can do another one of these. But they're your rough braking points. If it is raining, just brake, use the same braking points, but brake a tad earlier, and then just keep off the curbs. Other than that, everything is pretty much the same because Monza it's a very simple track. So what I'll do now is I will go back to the start of the lap, and I'll do a lap of you without me rabbiting on, so you can watch, and then I'll do the outside of the car view so you can see the position on the track and the track limits. And again, I will change view. I'll show you the outside of the car so you get a view on where to place it, track limits and such. And I'll play now. And that is a track guide of Monza. As I've said a few times throughout this video, as soon as the practice server gives me some mixed conditions, I will get on and do another one to help in the wet. If it doesn't, as I've said, brake a little earlier, keep off the curbs, and you'll be fine. It won't be as wet as Misano was, so don't worry about it. As usual, Coaching will be on Wednesday around 7:45 UK time. If you need any help, any tips, any questions, message me on Discord. And good luck for the race on Thursday, and I will see you then.